Rock Salt Muscast Experience with Aaron and Dave, back with Peter Field, all the way from the UK, and PETER118 among PJF. See, I got it right that time. PJF.
Yeah. So
what's up, Peter? I wanted to talk to you about some of your influence. I saw this online and it said you're influenced by Green Day and The Offspring, and there's a band I'm forgetting, but these are bands. These are all bands I'm into as well.
Yeah. Well, the great bands.
Yeah.
So I grew up in the 90s, so I was 14 when Green Day came out, and Offspring and Rancid. So I was just, taken in by all this awesome music. And I grew up, listening to those bands, Green Day, Rancid, Offspring, and then you had the Christian band MXPX.
Right.
But then I also got my British influence. So I was very much into the Sex Pistols, the Clash, the Buzzcocks, Sham 69, and a lot of these bands we're all touring the UK. So when we had punk gigs in the UK, it wasn't the American bands playing; it was the UK bands.
Right.
So in my early days, I was supporting a lot of these old school bands like Stiff Little Fingers, UK subs, and so that's where my influence comes from. I kind of mix the old school with the 90s new school, and out comes, the sound of PETER118.
Yeah, you do it nicely. And now, by the way, Aaron, we're going to get to see Rancid at Aftershock. We're going to see Rancid in October. They're going to be here in Sacramento.
And I'm going who?
Huh? Yeah.
And I'm going
now,
who?
Now you're going to know.
Yeah.
Now you're going to know.
It's a good mix between me and him, because I grew up listening to pretty much Christian music. And so I know a lot of these bands, and I'm kind of introducing them to Dave. And Dave grew up in church, but
I listened to a lot of secular music. I worked in radio, and I listened to a lot of secular music.
So he's introducing me, we're going to go see Kiss next weekend. So that's going to be fun.
Awesome.
Yeah. So
now, favorite Green Day album? Let me ask you, favorite Green Day album?
Well, I grew up in the 90s, so it's got to be Dookie.
Dookie? Yeah.
Dookie, yeah.
I fought it for a long time. I didn't like that album, and then it just kind of grew on me, and Woodstock might have had something to do with it, because I still watch them getting mud slung at them at Woodstock, and they weren't really big at that point. And they stood there and just slung the mud back, and I went, that's the right thing to do. It's not the right thing is not to get upset, but to connect with the crowd. And that's what they did, and it worked out well for them. My favorite, by the way, and I'm probably on the outs here, but American Idiot. I think it's just a great album.
It is a good album. Yeah. Holiday, great song.
The trilogy thing or whatever he put in there, that Jesus of Suburbia and Saint Jimmy, and I love that song. And he does it live, and it's even better. So great band. And we're going to see The Offspring as well at Aftershock. See, you're going to have to come over. Come on over, Peter, and go to Aftershock with us. I'll line you up a ticket, man.
It sounds good. I've just bought Offspring's new album, and it's really good.
Yeah, I haven't listened to it yet. But I do like. I'm not a big fan of Smash, but the stuff between like Ixnay on the Hombre and probably the original Prankster. What album was that?
Yeah,
I forget what album that was, but man, some great stuff. So
yeah.
Anyways, I just wanted to toss that stuff out. I wanted to talk to you about those bands.
So are shows happening now, or you're still, is everything starting to loosen up?
Bit by bit. Like we did an acoustic gig last week, and that was the only gig. We last played as a live band in 2019, December 19, and since then we've just done 2 acoustic gigs, because we've been in lockdown, and we've been in local lockdown, and gig and music was stopped. So it was strict rules in the UK. Things are now starting to open up. So I've been to my first live gig last month, and that was for 2 years. So things, festivals, the testing festivals out in the UK at the moment.
Aaron, in comparison to some of these other countries I've read about, like Australia, New Zealand, probably the UK, I haven't read about it, but we're not on lockdown over here. What we're considering really restrictive. These guys are like, I know in Australia, they said, don't leave the house and don't talk to your neighbor. I mean,
yeah. Last Christmas, we couldn't even visit our family.
Yeah, that's insane to me. Insane.
And you couldn't, the gyms were all shut. You couldn't go to the gym. You couldn't, and you could go to the park once or twice a day. Really strict rules.
Yeah.
That you'd expect something from Russia or, under communism. And
right.
It was really strange.
Yeah. And that's what a lot of people are saying over here, but we've got it light compared to what some of these other countries, are going through right now.
Yeah. It's damaged our music scene tremendously because there was no music for 18 months and no government compensation. So a lot of the musicians were finding other jobs.
Yeah.
So now it kind of left a gap where you would have sound engineers, stage workers, all that's gone because they've had to find other jobs to survive because the government wasn't providing any money.
Yeah, but that kind of happened over here. There were no venues to play at, and these bands that were made their money off of touring, they're now doing Patreon or some YouTube thing you got to pay for or whatever, and doing what they can to just keep it alive, because it's not just the band or the singer that is out the money. You got all these roadies and sound guys and all these techs and stuff that if you got a good one, you want to hang on to them. And if they're going, hey, you're not touring, I don't got no money, I'm gonna have to go weld for a living.
Yeah,
you lost a part of your band, didn't you?
Yeah.
I mean, even though they're not on stage bouncing around, they're still part of the band.
And I'd be interested to see what bands are still going. Like we've kept monthly practices to keep the ball rolling, but I think a lot of Christian bands in the UK, that there isn't many bands anyway. We're only talking between 8 and 10 Christian alternative bands for the whole country. But now a lot of those bands, I'm not sure if they're still going.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate. And there's you just answered one of the questions I was just about to ask, which is there much of a Christian rock scene out there? Because over here, at least the Christian rock scene is starting to take off. There's more and more bands.
Yeah, in the UK, like I said, there's between 8 and 10 alternative Christian bands, or there might even be less. So we don't have a Christian music industry. We have, a couple of Christian radio stations, but, the numbers of the church are in decline. So, for example, at our church, maybe 16 people, 8 people, 10 people. A lot of churches have closed down as well, because of COVID and lockdown. So churches weren't allowed to meet. The church numbers are in decline anyway in this country. So that's why we rely on American bands or touring bands coming over, like the Extreme Tour, to come and, support what we're doing.
Yeah, see, I mean, the churches are kind of hurting over here, but, we got this little thing called the Constitution says you can't close down a church.
Yeah, one band played a lot of churches, so they never shut down. Seventh Day Slumber never shut down. They did, ask during the heavy part of the pandemic to have people wear masks or try to social distance in some of the churches they played in, but they never shut down. Yeah.
Sorry, my battery's just going, so I'm just gonna get.
Well, you know what? We'll wrap this up. Peter, thank you for coming on the show. I hear the baby in the background.
Yeah, hang on. I've just got a charger here, so.
Okay.
All right.
We'll kind of wait it out here.
We'll wait it out.
Yeah. Sure.
What's the weather like in the UK? Sunny.
Today it's quite warm. It's been really warm, so we've got a bit of a heat wave at the moment.
So what's warm? What's warm?
He's gonna give it to you in Celsius, man.
Oh,
in Celsius, like 17 degrees, 18 degrees.
Oh,
see, I don't know what that means.
Yeah, whatever.
If you say 17 Fahrenheit, I know. I go.
Yeah.
That's just way too cold.
Yeah,
it's about 64 Fahrenheit, 70.
Okay. So you're enjoying that because normally it's cloudy and rainy, isn't it?
Yeah. That's it. I'm fine now. I've plugged my phone in. So.
Oh, awesome.
Okay.
Awesome. Well, Peter, where can people find PETER118 and the album? And give me all your plugs, man.
Okay. So website, PETER118.com, Facebook, YouTube, PETER118, on Twitter, Instagram, Raven Faith Records, Thumper Punk Records, PJF is on there. Google PETER118 and it will all come up. Bandcamp, iTunes, Apple.
Nice. And you also got PJF.
Yes, and then you're also got a release on a mainstream label here, 8 Up Records. So you can check them out there too.
Yeah, we've got a physical release on 8 Up Records, which is a secular punk label in America that came out last week. So a lot of the songs will be on that for physical CD, and that's $5 in America. So because
that's
of the import,
a bargain.
Yeah,
that's a gallon of gas, Aaron. or for Peter, it's a gallon of petro over here. I don't know, what is that, 4 liters is a gallon? I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm trying to do all the math in my head, bro.
Oh, man.
All right.
Well, we're hoping to see you in the States.
Yeah,
we're hoping.
Yeah, definitely. When I can get there, yeah, when things open up.
Yeah, when things open up again, you get out to California. We'll go down to Amoeba. I think that would be fantastic to cruise Amoeba. Right, that's one of my favorite places is Amoeba Records. So
yeah.
What'd you think of it, by the way? What'd you think of Amoeba?
I love it. It's amazing. All, when I was in LA, all the the record stores of the Damned and the Ramones, it was brilliant. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I call Amoeba a record store on steroids, because it's just like, if you can't find it there, man, you're not finding it.
Yeah. Well, they had. I was on a Christmas album for Rodney Bingenheimer, and they were selling the records in Amoeba Music.
Oh, cool. That's really cool. Yeah, I love Amoeba. So, all right, Peter, thank you for coming on the show.
No, thank you.
Please come on again. You got a next song coming out, next album coming out. You coming to America, whatever. Let's talk about it. And anything I'm missing here, Aaron? I feel like I'm forgetting something.
No,
I covered it all.
You covered it all.
All right. Golden, man.
Again, thank you for coming on, and hope to see you in the States, when things open up. And,
yes, definitely.
That would be great.
Awesome. All right, Peter, thank you for coming on the show. This is the Rock Salt Muzkast Experience.
Thank you.
Hey, thank